Shalom. Allah start out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Harakah Kadash, double honors to the apostles and as great millstone, salutations to all for that that's pushing this truth across the four corners of the earth in all fair truth and sincerity. I'm one by getting us in. Just want to go into real quick. It's about the great day of the Lord, Yahushua, people think that the Lord, when he makes his return, who y'all call Jebus, Yahushua, when he makes his return, he's not coming back, happy and elated and what y'all Christians in these churches think in y'all mind, that you think that the Lord, y'all want the Lord to return, because how things is, but Lord Yahushua coming back to only to have mercy and deliver his elect of the so-called Negro Latino natives. He's not coming back to have mercy on everybody, and have mercy and deliver everybody, and like these people in these churches say, or they preach, these pastors in these churches preach that everybody can be saved or whatever. It's not true, and I say, the so-called Negro Latinos, which are the Israelites, y'all ain't saved from nothing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all still in captivity. Because Lord Yahushua is only concerned about the Israelites, but in these times right now, the elect of Israel, not all of Israel, gonna be delivered and have mercy by Lord Yahushua when he returns. Even now, before he returns, but when he returns, Lord Yahushua finna bring nothing but death and destruction upon this place, America, Babylon Great, and those that ain't right, Israelites that ain't right, those are two-thirds Israelites that ain't right, Lord Yahushua gonna destroy, so I'm getting to it. Zephaniah 1:14, the great day of the Lord, Yahweh Bashan is near, it is near, and hasten greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, Yahweh Bashan, the mighty man shall cry out there bitterly. So, the great day of the Lord, is near, it's Yahweh Bashan, Yahushua gonna make his return, eventually, in the near future, hopefully we ain't got to 2030. Hopefully, hopefully Lord Yahushua returns before that, but when Lord Yahushua makes his return, a lot of people, they gonna be shaken up, and a lot of people gonna be shocked at seeing who the real Lord, how the Lord looks and who he really is, and the power and glory that they're gonna see. It's gonna be breathtaking to a lot of people. Seeing his power and glory, Yahushua, return the chariots, Yahushua returning in chariots on the chariots so-called UFO, and with the angels, to bring his wrath and judgment upon the place of America, Babylon the Great. And it said, the mighty man shall cry that bitterly, when that time comes, like I say, these guys, these military men, when you want to say these, the tough guys or whatever it may be, they're gonna be like, oh shit, they're gonna be, shaken up, and they say they're gonna cry there bitterly. They're gonna be, wailing and like, oh no, when Lord Yahushua makes his return, so. And ain't nothing good coming to this place, America, Babylon Great. that these so-called white people, ready Edomite devils, they in rulership, they in rule, their time of rulership is coming to an end, you know. And Lord Yahweh Shai is gonna return to, bring these Edomite devils out of the power seat, you know. But Zephaniah 1:15. Zephaniah 1:15. The day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wastiness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. So hey, this is a day of wrath, man. Like I say, these pastors in the churches, whatever, they don't talk about, scriptures like this. They don't go into the bitterness of the scriptures, or what's really gonna come about. When Lord Yahushua returns, even now, and understand the prophecies now before He makes His return. With the signs of His return. We in those times now. A lot of things are going on with prophecy. Yahweh Yahushua bringing judgment now. Judgment's going out now. A lot of people are dying. You're hearing about this person died, that person gone, this, and these storms and so forth are bringing death and destruction, and it's gonna get worse, man. It ain't gonna get no better, But like I said, the day of the Lord is it's a day of wrath, of trouble and distress, man. A day of wastiness, desolation, darkness, gloominess. A day of clouds and thick darkness. It's gonna be not a good day. The song, today was a good day. It ain't gonna be a good day when Lord Yahushua, Ice Cube, you know what I'm talking about. But today's not. It ain't gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a bad day. For a lot of people. That ain't right. But for the elect of the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Israelites, hopefully I'm probably righteous number, it's gonna be, it's gonna be a great day for the elect if you're of that righteous number to be delivered by Lord Yahushua. That's if. You get beamed up in the chairs, so-called your foe. Hopefully I, get beamed up, but hey, that's what it is, man. Either you're of the elect or not. Cause a lot of people, the slain of the Lord gonna be many. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and get that. Go ahead and get that precept. So this, excuse me, Isaiah 66:16, for by fire and by His sword would the Lord Yahweh Bashem shall plead with all flesh. And the slain of the Lord Yahweh Bashem shall be many. So the slain of the Lord gonna be many, man. So by fire, so he said by fire and by His sword. So by that fire, man, like I said, the chariots are called UFO, the laser beams, right? Gonna be zapping those that ain't right. Gonna be, laser beams gonna be zapping those that ain't right, And then, ultimately, the thermonuclear missiles come raining down upon America, Babylon the Great, destroying everybody, everything here, and not gonna be burnt up. And they said the slain of the Lord shall be many. So and that's how you gonna plead with all flesh with the fire, by the laser beams, so-called UFOs, and ultimately the thermonuclear missiles raining down upon America, Babylon the Great. And Lord, this slain of the Lord gonna be many. So Lord Yahweh gonna have Jake be like, I got these bodies. I got bodies. Lord, how I should gonna have a whole bunch of bodies, and a lot of death and destruction, right? Gonna come up, it's gonna come up upon this place, America, Babylon the Great. Lord Yahweh gonna bring upon this place, America, Babylon the Great. But so I'm go back. Zephaniah 1:16, a day of the trumpet. A day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities. A day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities. Excuse me. And against the high towers. So you're gonna have those, them alarms going off, them sirens going off, and then They're gonna be on the radio, on TV. This is not a test. It's gonna be for real. It ain't gonna be no prank. Supposed to be pranking. This is not a test. Missiles are being launched and all that. They be doing it. To people, whatever. It's gonna be a day where they ain't gonna be no test. The missiles coming. You gonna see Loyal Rashad and Chariots call you a foe. It's gonna be a real serious day. Real serious day time, and it's not gonna be a good day for a lot of people. It's gonna be a great day for the elect if they're hopefully in righteous number, but for the elect, it's gonna be a great day for the elect because they're gonna get beamed up in chairs to call you a foe to not partake of the wrath and judgments of Lord Yahweh Shai. To not have to face that second death. Which gonna come by way of those thermonuclear missiles. But reading on Zephaniah 1:17, I will bring distress upon men; they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord Yahweh Shai, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, their flesh as dung. So hey, a lot of people are gonna be getting put to death by Lord Yahweh Shai. They sinned against the Lord Yahweh Shai. They didn't repent. 2/3 Israelites, so-called Negro Latino natives, that's not of that righteous number, that didn't repent. They didn't believe Lord Yahweh Shai and His truth that the apostles and the elders and the brethren and great must don't teach and push on the internet on the highways and byways. You're gonna have a lot of people just being destroyed. And those that thought that they was doing righteousness, and doing, good or whatever it may be, it's not gonna deliver them. Like I said, it's gonna be a lot of, it's gonna be a lot of death and destruction, right? Coming upon this place, America, Babylon the Great. A lot of people gonna be, destroyed. When Lord Yahweh Shai returns, in the chariots shall call you a foe. But reading on Zephaniah 1:18, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, the day of the Lord Yahweh Shai wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of His jealousy, for He shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. So no amount of money, is gonna deliver from you, from no amount of money or gold or whatever that these elites or these sellout Israelites, whoever may be, have a whole bunch of money, silver, gold, whatever. It's not gonna deliver you from Lord Yahweh Shai wrath. If you ain't part of righteous, Lord Yahweh Shai is not gonna deliver you. He don't care about your gold and silver money, whatever, your status, whatever, who you is. If you ain't part of righteous number, if you wasn't obedient to Lord Yahweh Shai, you didn't repent, or like I say, man, it's about the elect. If you ain't part of righteous, the elect of the so-called Negro Latino natives, which are the Israelites, but the elect of Israel, because again, not all Israel gonna be delivered by Lord Yahweh Shai, not gonna have mercy by Lord Yahweh Shai, right? You're gonna have to deal with that fire, man. It's gonna feel like forever, like you burning, and it's gonna be a speedy riddance of everything here in America, Babylon the Great. It ain't gonna take long for Lord Yahweh Shai to completely wipe out everything here and destroy this place, America, Babylon the Great. It gonna take number 1 hour, but it's gonna feel like forever. And 1 hour gonna feel like forever, man. When Lord Yahweh Shai makes it, when He returns in chariots to call you a foe, to bring His wrath and destruction, and to destroy this place, America, Babylon the Great. Again, by the chariots, by laser beams from the chariots, so call you a foe. And ultimately, the thermonuclear missiles come raining down upon America, Babylon the Great. You know, and like I say, everything, you know, gonna be destroyed here. You know, only ones that like I said, gonna escape the rapid judgment, Lord Yahweh Shai, is the elect of the so-called Negro Latino Native Israelites. And hopefully I'm probably right, but so Lord willing, I hope this will edify. So again, I'd like to give our praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Harakakadash, to the apostle elders, to the Sisakin brothers, to the few Akwaf sisters that do listen, keep the faith, and Yahushua keep fighting. That's it. Shalom.